now next time I go camping or going or on a trail,
You never
I'm
go alone.
sticking to the trail. Somebody has to be behind me no matter what.
When you get accepted, you have to pay a $25,000 initiation fee.
So it's not your average Joe. These are people with like
No, these are
money.
rich people.
Like from a bird's eye view from the top,
Mhm.
it looks like a swastika, bro.
Really?
And I was like, there's no way. And look at this. But that video that I watched, if it
The
is
aliens?
real, there was like circles around the.
If it was the aliens, do you think like maybe the aliens like messed up the planes, like the navigation system and the whole thing?
Nemo is an imagination from Marlin. So Nemo never existed.
Wait. The Vatican has like secret archive files
Yeah, I wouldn't be
that
surprised.
contain like so many information and everything. They like suppressed scientific information that challenged like the religion.
Welcome to the Overthinkers podcast, where we talk about conspiracy theories.
And stories.
My name is Marco.
My name's Melissa, and let's get into it.
Have you ever heard about the missing 411 phenomenon?
No, I never heard
No?
of that. No.
So I kind of heard about this. So like essentially the phenomenon about the 411 is like missing people cases. So like but this is people who go missing in these cases are from like national parks like Yosemite.
Really?
Yeah, Yosemite, Joshua Tree, and like big national parks.
Yeah.
Or like forests and stuff like that. But like within these cases, like there are like different cases obviously, but they're like have very similarities about like how they go missing. So like, and then these cases are all throughout the United States and worldwide as well. And so some of the things that like there's a lot of things that don't make any sense, but some of the things that are like very common is that they usually vanish without a trace. There's like hikers, children, and all that. But when they vanish without a trace, they're like never seen ever again within these national parks. And so like some things that are common is they just vanish without a trace or without anybody knowing about anything. And it usually also happens to like people who are experienced hikers, experienced hunters. And then most of the individuals, they're like kids. They're usually kids, or they're usually people who are disabled, or young teens, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Those specific, groups. And obviously, like, I understand, like, if it's a national park or a big forest, you go in there, you don't know way around. But most of these people, like hikers and hunters, are obviously experienced.
Yeah.
They know
So they know their
layout.
way.
Yes,
Yeah.
they should know their way. And also, for example, like one of the usually when they're found in like areas that don't make any sense, like at the edge of a cliff. Sometimes it says here that are like in water caves. It's weird.
So they go missing and then they find their bodies, or what? What are you saying?
So it's either so for these ones they go missing or they find them, but they're already dead.
Oh.
So but most of the ones that I'm talking about are like missing.
Okay.
So most of the 401 cases, like, they never find them, or if you do find them, they they're dead. But like when they another thing is when they find them dead, they're the coroner, the people who do the bodies, they can't they don't have a reason. You know how that they have to have a reason
Like
for
the
like
cause
how
of
they
death?
cause a death. They can't cause a death.
That's weird.
It's pretty weird. And then not only that, so like obviously when you get lost in the forest and all that, right? Like they have like the hound dogs,
Oh, yeah,
specifically to like track where you're going or where you trail and all that. And what's really weird is that it's not the animals, but like the dogs that they use to assist to find a trail, like where your last smell was and all that, they like sit down or they like refuse to like smell
Really?
where you were last seen at. So obviously when you were last seen at, they follow the trail where like your smell, but they refuse to like smell or they just sit down.
So
like,
even the dogs don't.
even the
like,
dogs know like something like, hey,
Something's
something's
not right.
off. And then not only that, but like most of the victims, or like some of the people that they don't find missing, they find their clothes sometimes, or like in weird areas, like at the like I said, like the edge of a cliff, or like shoes like at weird angles, like in a tree. It's just weird stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense. And so I was like, the bodies, they're like way deep in if they do find any, they're like way deep in the forest and the things. And when they do find the bodies, like, you can't, like, they always say, the people who try to find them, they always say, hey, how did they get there? Like,
there's no explanation.
There's no explanation for, like, why you at the edge of the cliff, or, like, the only way you can get here is if you climb that mountain. How do you? So you're telling me he climbed the mountain and then just his body's not there, but his clothes are there? It just doesn't make any sense. What do you think is going on? Like, I don't know. A lot of people are saying, like, aliens, Bigfoot, or.
I mean, it would kind of makes, like, honestly, I don't believe, or I don't think it's like, I think it's something like external. So it's not them. Like, the humans
so
are not.
What do you think? Something like.
Low key, like. They might have, like, encountered something, and then, like
something
paranormal? Big.
Like paranormal, or like Bigfoot, or like like Bigfoot or something?
Like, Bigfoot, I mean, low-key, maybe, but, like, I feel like they probably encountered something, like, really big that they couldn't, like, fight off. And then, like, because they couldn't fight off this thing, they probably, like, I don't know.
So you think it's some like, form?
Yeah.
Physical form.
Something.
And also, the thing that it's really interesting is how, like, all the victims are, like, if they do find them, or the victims that go missing, they're all, like, either kids, people with disabilities, or, like, young teens. Or sometimes, if it's not that, they're either really experienced hikers, or really experienced, like, people who go hiking, who go hiking, or or hunters who know the map, because, they've been there hunting a while, but they go missing. And so that's why they always ask, how are these people going missing? If you, let's just say, for example,
like, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because they know the layout of, like, the whole forest, where to go to hunt, where to not go to hunt. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And also, another thing that's weird is, at the time where these disappearances take place is early in the evening, so early morning, or like close to, like, late at night, like sunset. Always when there's, like, more darkness. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
That's like.
That doesn't make any. I don't know. That's really weird. And then, like I said, also, like, it's really weird how, like, obviously, if they do find them, like, the coroner can't say, hey, can't say the cause of death, which is really weird.
Or, like, explain how they got there, which is,
like, explain what they got there. But not only that, obviously not the cause of death, but they rule out certain things. So they rule out no animals killed the victim, or no foul play.
Or foul play.
So no foul play. So no, somebody just did it.
Somebody, like,
somebody didn't kill him or did it, something like that to him. And then no animals, like I don't know, wolf or bear, stuff like that. So then they always say, we can't. Yeah, like, we can't
explain it. We can't explain it. We don't know what it is.
And then imagine saying that to the family. It's like, I don't know how your family member died or your kid died, but it was definitely not this and that. That's freaking weird. And then obviously, like and then another thing that was really weird is, like, if you go in the forest, right? Like I said earlier, like, some of these people, that the victims that they do find, like, their clothes are, like, half naked, or, like, their bodies, or, like, their clothes is gone. Like, your boots are gone, or your shoes are gone, or part of your clothes. I'm like, it wouldn't make any sense if you would have done it to yourself, because, like, when you go in the forest and you're out at night, hypothermia, you know what I mean? It's cold. I don't know if you guys have been camping or not, but it gets hella dark and cold. Yeah. You're not going to take off your clothes in the middle of the night. You're going to keep them on. Yeah. So my thing is, honestly, like, I think something is finding, like, victims that are vulnerable. Yeah. And maybe if you're, like, on a trail or something like that, and it leads you, like, off the trail, and then just.
But the thing is that, like, I don't even know if it's, like, vulnerable, because you also said that it also, like, goes after, like, experienced hunters.
But that's the thing. So
that's like what's weird, that, like, it goes with, like, vulnerable people.
Because, like, it makes sense to go vulnerable people, but, like, people who also, like, are experienced. But the thing is, the main thing is they're always by themselves. So it's always they're not by themselves, but they, like, let's just say they're part of a group, and then because I'm gonna tell you later in a bit that one of the stories where a little girl, like, they were in a group, but she was like, hey, I want to take a picture. They're like, yeah, go ahead. And it was like 100 yards, like a football field. And next thing you know, that was the last time they found her. Gone? Yeah. That's pretty weird. And then come to find out, so obviously there's, like, hundreds of these people, like, gone missing through national parks, hunting, game, wildlife, like, all those areas and all that. But the area where the most disappearances go, guess where?
Where?
Yosemite National Park.
I mean, Yosemite is like pretty big.
I mean, but that's not the only national park in the United States that's
No.
huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it makes sense because there's a lot of people that go there. And as of 2017, there were like 32 unsolved missing person cases in the park. So
That's
30
crazy.
people that they just never found.
But like with these cases, did they find like, was it an animal or something? Like, no.
So they're part of that's what they call the 411 phenomenon. Like they all have similar circumstances and they all have like similar stuff happening. Like I said, like the clothes are missing or just you weren't able to tell how they died.
Damn.
And so that's how they fit in this category, the 411 phenomenon. And so like one of the one famous case in Yosemite National Park of the 411 phenomenon is the disappearance of Stacy Ann Aris. So this happened in July 17, 1981, and she was near the Sunrise High Sierra Camp in Yosemite, and she was only, guess how old she was? She was only
15.
14 years old. Damn. And she disappeared. So essentially how it happened was that Stacy, she went with a group to like a multi-day, because I don't know if you know if you've ever been to Yosemite, but in Yosemite you can also do horseback riding in some trails.
Really?
So there's trails just for horseback riding, and you also have like a horse camp, like where you put your horses and all that, right? And so she went for like a group on a multi-day horseback riding trip to Yosemite, and so the group stopped at like the Sunrise High Sierra Camp. And it was Yosemite is nice. So if you see a scenic area, you're gonna have obviously you have cameras. You want to take pictures, right? And so she decided to take a short distance from the group to take photographs of a nearby lake, right? But she went with a person within the group, but the guy got tired, so he went back to the group. But since it was only like 100 yards, she's like, "Yeah, go ahead, why not?" And then she took her camera. And mind you, she's only 14 years old, right? And obviously he grew tired and he went back to the group and to the camp. And then Stacy obviously went to go take pictures at the lake. And then Stacy continued to walk towards the lake alone, which was like 100 yards, like I said. Mm-hmm. And that was the last time they ever saw her. So they have witnesses that was the last, that she was standing next to the rocks by the lake. And that was documented the last time she was ever seen. Not, I don't want to say alive, but like, in physical form.
Yeah.
And after she vanished pretty much without a trace. And the only thing they can find was her camera lens.
Really? That's crazy.
I can't imagine, like, being out there. Like, I'm already scared of the forest, man. Like, because, like, when I go camping on trails, I always stay on the trail. Always. Yeah. Because as soon as you go to the trail, you go in like a couple hundred yards, and then you look around, you do a 360, everything looks the same. Mm-hmm. So I can't imagine like a national park like that. It makes sense if they get lost, but like they don't find any trace, nothing.
Not only that, I would think like if I wasn't like in that situation and I saw something like really weird, my first instinct would be to like call for help or like scream or something like that.
Yeah, and then that doesn't make any sense too. So like, okay, let's just say if something tried to grab you, right?
Yeah.
Or grab you or do something to you, you're gonna obviously scream. Obviously, little girls, you're gonna scream loud as you can. And then the only thing they found was her camera lens.
So like none of like the group heard anything or like.
That was the last thing they found, and this is like in the 90s. So this is like in 1981. So this is obviously early. So this has been going on for a while now. It's not just like all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's been going on for a while. But like I said, she fits the category of like young teen. Yeah. And was pretty much alone. And unfortunately...
Damn.
Yeah. Honestly, so you say you think it's something physical, like a mammal or something? Like, I don't know, Bigfoot?
I mean, I don't know, because, like, low-key, like, I don't really believe that, like, Bigfoot exists, but, like, nothing else...
What about this? What about if it's a serial killer?
But the thing is that, like... if it was a serial killer, this serial killer has to be watching, like... everywhere and everything.
Because think about it, right? If I'm not saying it's a good area, but I'm just saying, like, if you are, right, think about it. There's hundreds and thousands of people going to national parks. Mm-hmm. And obviously, like, if you go off a trail, you just follow the victim and then just do your thing and just obviously not do it there because obviously, based on the phenomenon, there's nothing that is left behind.
That's why there's no traces. So, like, how is a serial killer gonna, like...
And they just vanished.
Do this? I don't think it's a serial
Yeah, I don't
killer.
think it is. Now that I think about it, I think something paranormal.
Paranormal, definitely, but I don't think it's.
I know a lot of people say there's caves in national parks,
Caves?
like underground tunnels.
Really?
Yeah, according to what people are saying, there's a lot of people that say that there's tunnels underneath the national parks, and that's why they take a lot of children and all that.
That's crazy.
I don't know. That's what they were saying, but that is pretty crazy. I don't know. I think it's something paranormal,
Yeah, I also think
but
it's
a lot of things
paranormal.
just don't make any sense.
I don't think this is like from like a human
No,
doing this.
I don't know.
I don't think they like. It's not like. It just doesn't explain it. Like
Yeah,
human would never do
yeah,
this.
none of this stuff makes any sense. But yeah, that's pretty much the 401 phenomenon. Now, next time I go camping or going or on a trail,
You never
I'm
go alone.
sticking to the trail.
Never
Somebody has to
go-
be behind me no matter what.
Never go alone, guys.
I'm never going alone. As soon as I see the sunlight, oh yeah, bro, I'm going back to my campsite. But yeah, that's pretty much the missing 401 cases.
Have you ever heard of like the Bohemian Grove, or like, okay, let's say, have you ever gone to like the like really north of California? Like,
Yes.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. Have you heard of the Bohemian Grove?
I have heard about it before. Yes.
Okay. So basically, the Bohemian Grove is a place in like the redwoods forest, which is like a really big forest in Northern California, and like this forest includes like the Sonoma County, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Sonoma County is like 75 miles of like San Francisco, right? And it's 75 miles north. So this place, like, it's like a really big forest, and it has like a little camp to it, right? This camp is kind of called like they foster like a club called the Bohemian Club, right? This club, it starts getting weird. This club is an invite only club for men only.
That's really weird.
So you're either getting invited by like a lot of people want you to be in this club, or you're gonna be on the wait list for decades.
What, in the wait list to go in the middle of the forest?
Yes, to go to this camp. Like you're gonna wait decades to go to this camp.
What?
But like it starts getting really weird because like only like a specific type of people can enter this club. So this club, like, it mostly is filled with politicians, celebrities, and like very elite people. So people with like money and power.
Money and power. So
Money
the only
and
people that
power.
can go in that campsite is money and power people.
Money and power.
And you have to wait. So obviously,
Yeah.
if there's a wait list, there's a lot of people trying to get there.
Unless like you're a really important people or a really important person, and like the people in the club want you to be in it, so you get in automatically.
But my thing is like, okay, obviously to have people on a wait list that have power and money, you have to have something, you know, because not anybody with power and money just gonna hey yo, I want to go to this camp. No, there's a reason. There's a reason why you want to go there. Like,
yeah. Okay.
That's really sus.
Okay, wait, just wait. So basically, this club or this campsite is like a retreat for these important people, right? And usually, like, they call it a summer camp, or they basically just call it a summer camp or a retreat. And the thing to like when you get in it and when you get accepted, you have to pay a $25,000 initiation fee.
So it's not your average Joe. These are people with like
no, these are
money.
rich people. Like 25,000
for what?
Buddy, wait.
Summer camp?
And it's 2 weeks. So like
That's
it's not,
it?
Yeah, it's
2
only
weeks,
2 weeks.
$25. It better be included dinner, breakfast, everything. Damn.
So like 2 weeks for $25,000, like
That's
damn.
a lot of money.
But anyways, like based on like the list, like of course it's only men, right? But based on the list of men, a lot of them are white, Republican, and I don't know how to patriotism.
I could have sworn that somebody said that on a list with a president.
Dude, oh, don't, bro. Wait, just wait. But there's hella presidents. A lot of presidents. Yeah. But look, I'm going to name a little bit, but like, so basically they said a lot of them are white, Republican, and patriotism. I think that's how you say it, but I don't know. Which is basically like this word first originated in ancient Rome, and it was used to call someone from like a ruling class family, which then like in this case means money or power. So basically, you had to like most of them have these 3 things, right? But not all of them did, but most of them did. And also, what's also weird is that like no media, no reporters,
Nobody
no nothing
talks about
can
it.
ever go
Well,
inside.
think about it, right? If you're like someone with money and power, and in this case,
Yeah.
if presidents are showing up to that,
Yeah.
and obviously the media are not going to say, "Yo, hey, we got presidents showing up at the the Grove summer camp. They're playing 25,000." Everybody be like, it's like a frenzy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, they have the power to say, "Yo,
Mhm.
you guys don't say nothing." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So like
Like they have a power to just do it.
no media can ever go in, and like it's really restricted.
So it's kind of like a secret society, I guess.
Yeah, like it's very
secret group.
secretive. So yeah, and then here is like some, like the list of attendees. So Clint is Eastwood, which is like Clint Eastwood is like a very like white like actor who's like really famous, right? So everybody knows him. Ronald Reagan,
Ronald Reagan,
of course, which is a president. David and Nelson Rockefeller, of course, like
a Rockefeller.
if the name doesn't give it away, Rockefeller is like a really like they're really like bankers, right?
So essentially, like they're one of the families that like I guess another conspiracy theory that control like the world.
Yeah, basically. And then George W. Bush
Bruh.
was one of them too.
So these are top hitters that are
Dude,
out
no,
there.
and then I saw the list, and it's George W. Bush and then George H.W. Bush. So
So this is a family thing now.
Yeah, and then also Theodore Roosevelt. Also
Bruh, Theodore Roosevelt was also in the camp?
yes, like a lot of
my
people
God.
were in this list. Okay, but there's basically a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding this like club because like it's very weird. Like men only. You haven't have money or power, and it's very secretive. So like it's just like what's going on in there, right?
What do you think is going on?
Honestly, wait. Let me say, and then I think I like
Okay.
because honestly, the first one I actually like. I think something not weird, but like crazy is going on in there. So the first thing is that they say they have some like crazy rituals in there.
I believe that.
Yeah, I kind of
that.
believe it too.
It makes sense. Like it's just like secret society type of thing.
Yeah.
You can't no media, no coverage, no cameras, nothing in there.
So
like,
so basically inside this club they have a very like large owl statue.
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and then basically they say that this owl statue represents like wisdom, right? But basically, it like at the start of every like retreat, they do a ceremony or like a ritual in this case,
What the hell?
in front of this owl, and they call it the cremation of care ceremony.
What
And
the hell?
in this ceremony, what they basically do is they have this effigy, which is basically like a sculpture or model of a person, right?
Bro.
And guess what? They burn it. So they burn this like sculpture of a person. They burn it in front of all these people, and they like do a performance. And basically, what they said is that like this ceremony like makes the members like carefree from the outside.
What the
But like,
hell?
dude, why are you burning like a sculpture of
Also,
a
who is the person? Is the person like a random person or
Like the one who's doing the ceremony?
No, the one who's getting like the sculpture of the burn person. Like
They just said it's of a person.
I'm pretty sure it's not a random person. I'm pretty sure it's like a specific. That's really weird.
I don't know. It's just
And
like,
the fact that it's like a ritual. You know what I mean?
yeah, like they do it.
Like how long has this been going on that we haven't? Obviously now we know about it, but how
Mm-hmm.
long has it been going to like the point where like presidents are showing up?
Yeah.
And not only that, like if you have a president showing up, now you have what 3 in there already in the summer
Mm-hmm.
camp, and not if literally for example, if you have 1 show up and no media coverage, but 3 show ups to summer camp and no media coverage at all, that's not. It's not normal. It's really sucks. I'm pretty sure they're telling the media, you guys stay out of this.
That I don't know. That's like pretty crazy. But another thing that people say that goes on in these like in this club is global elite plotting, which basically
makes sense.
I mean, if you have all these people with like power and money, it would kind of make sense that like
They have influence.
Yeah, you have influence on a lot of people, and you have money and power, which is like a lot. But basically, they say that they come together and they basically talk about world domination, economic policies, and war.
I mean, that makes sense.
It
That makes
does make
complete
sense because like
sense.
it's all these important people, and they are like they have a big like influence on the country. So like they're talking about these things and like plotting, like planning.
But why an owl though? Like out of all an owl, is there like a specific?
I
like-
don't honestly. I don't know.
That's really weird. Like an owl, and then you burn like a sculpture.
Yeah, you burn a
somebody, and then
sculpture
they start
somebody.
doing like a ritual and chants and all
Yeah,
that.
but wait. So Bohemian Grove is located next to like a city called Monterio, right? In Monterio, they have a theater which is called the Monterio Theater, right? So when they like all of a sudden, like you know how like they like those old theaters have like the Showtime boards and you put the letters on it.
Yeah,
right,
the
right?
old school ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
so one day, all of a sudden, this theater had this message on it which says the owls are not what they seem.
What the hell?
And we all know the Bohemian Club has an owl statue.
And now,
so they're only talking about the Bohemian Club. So the Bohemian Club is not what they seem.
So let me say this: do you think the theater is trying to send a message, or is it them who are sending the message?
No, I think it's the theaters. I think it's the locals, the people who live in the city, because they're nearby. So they kind of like have
obviously
a sense.
Heard about stories,
yeah.
maybe saw something. Because obviously, like if you have big people like that, you're gonna see caravans of people. Like it's a really important people.
You're gonna see some like strange things.
Because obviously, if it's a small town like that in the middle of nowhere, you're gonna, hey, yo, whose car is that? Like this car does not belong here. Or like you see a motorcade coming through with the presidents. Yeah, I think that was a message.
But think about like if the locals think about this, then like. What do you think they're hiding in there? Like, they're just so crazy.
I don't know. That's really crazy. Maybe that's how. Maybe. Hey, I'm just saying. Maybe that's how they get their power. I don't know. But what you just said right now about like having like influence and all that, and talking about like
these
domination,
are like very
that makes
important
sense.
people. And also, there's also like been stories like everybody says like. Stories of the Bohemian Grove, like if you enter or you trespass, like
also
you're never
I heard
out.
I heard a thing where like because obviously in the summer camp we have people who have to feed you, right?
Yeah.
So I heard a small story that one of the waiters, when they bring out the food during lunchtime, someone had a friend and that friend was talking too much about what he was seeing. Yeah, about what he was seeing, because obviously it's hush hush and
yeah.
And he told the person, I'm like, yo, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. And because they're both waiters, right? Because I guess one of them has been there for a while.
Yeah.
And so obviously, the longer you've been there, the longer
the
you
more you know.
hear things, the more you see things and all that. And the guy that he was talking to was new. So the new guy would, hey, yo, what's going on with this whole? Because, it's everybody talks about it, but nobody talks about it in the media. And apparently that he asked him and then he talked too much or something like that. The next day.
He's gone?
He's gone.
Like fired or like nobody can?
Nobody saw him ever again. Because look, let me tell you this.
Like, bro,
let me tell you this, right? If you have so many important people at a certain spot, you really think you're not gonna have cameras? You're not gonna have like somebody recording, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because think about it, like you want to keep this top notch. These are top people from around the world in the United States. Like you're gonna have cameras. So you're gonna have like maybe like an audio guy in the back or something. You know what I mean? Like security guards hidden or something like that. You know? And I guess like when he spoke about it, he spoke too much.
He was gone.
He was gone. They don't know what happened. He just gone.
Yeah, there's been a lot of like stories that are like if you mess with this like club, you're really like you're gonna see the end of it. Like no one's gonna ever like see you again.
It makes sense. I mean, you're already in the forest. Like what
And there have been like YouTube videos where people like go in the like they try to find something in the Bohemian Grove, but like I don't know whether it's not to believe it or to believe those videos, but like.
Well, think about it, right? When everybody's there, they're always gonna have things that weren't there when nobody's there. Obviously, I'm pretty sure before they leave like the whole summer camp and all that, they're gonna take everything that is really sus with them. You know what I mean? They're gonna be doing rounds like, hey, yo, we gotta make sure we take this off because when we don't have security no more and people come on, because obviously everybody knows about it now. So obviously people are gonna be coming on, because I've seen videos where like people go inside and take out the owl and all that, and they're like, yo, what is this puppet or stuff like that. Obviously, all that stuff, the important stuff is already going to be gone. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Just this whole club.
No, but that makes sense. I think that's what's going on. They talk about, like, conquering the world, like, war and stuff like that. 'Cause that's really...
I honestly believe the rituals won. Like, anyways, that's pretty much it about, like, the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, that Bohemian... That was pretty weird, but...
Yeah, everything is.
Have you heard about the conspiracy of the Denver... International Airport.
The what?
The Denver International Airport conspiracy.
I've heard about it, but I don't really know much about it.
So, there's a lot of talk about that, right? The airport. So, there's a lot of things that are weird. Like, for example, there's a lot of statues within the airport. A lot of art that can be, like, symbolism. Like, symbolizes, like... I don't know, like certain like maybe societies, like the Freemason or Illuminati, stuff like that. Yeah. So, so obviously like this, obviously in Denver, right, the international airport. So it has like mysterious design elements, bizarre art, and allegedly connections to shadowy organizations. And then so the airport is, I never knew this, but the airport is actually 33,531 acres long. It is the largest airport in North America, and it's the second largest in the world by
Really?
land area. Just that by itself,
Is that kind of, yeah.
it's already sus.
Yeah.
Like, why is it the biggest in the United States? And then, because you know how Colorado, what's Colorado at? Like that's one of the highest peaks in the United States, like mountain wise, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then because of the elevation from the
Yeah,
ocean.
yeah.
And then so apparently, right? So they built an airport. So Denver already had their own airport, and it was called the Stapleton Airport. But they wanted to build this bigger one so bad. I don't know why, but they wanted to build it bigger, right? Even though they already had one close to Denver. And then this one was kind of far from like downtown. It was like 25 miles away, the bigger one.
Mm-hmm.
And the cost of construction was 4.8 billion in total to build the airport. But the thing that's weird is that they went 2 billion over budget. How do you go 2 billion over budget?
Wait, what do you mean? So like their original budget was 2 point something, and then overall it was like 4 point something.
4.8 billion in total.
Damn.
And it was late to like finish construction, 16 months. And a lot of people are saying that they might be like hitting bunkers underneath
That's
or stuff
crazy.
like that.
That makes sense to like why like the budget was over, and then why it was like such a delay.
And
like were they building something
underground
or anything?
I don't know. I mean, what do you like? I would definitely think there's maybe not bunkers, or there's something or safe or something.
There's definitely like some sort of like tunnel or like something underneath the airport for sure.
But obviously, like that by itself is sus already. But the art that I'm going to talk about and the statues and all that, it's really big conspiracy theory out there. And obviously, like I said, a lot of people think that they have underground bunkers. Also within the art, so this is getting to the stuff that's really weird, right? So they have the Freemasons, right? Like the religion people that come to your house, hey, and they want to talk, and then with the white shirts, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So it's a certain religion, right? And they try to like convince you and all that, but that religion, there's a Freemason plaque in the airport, right? So in the airport, it's like they say it's a dedication marker in the airport that features a Freemason symbol. So like a compass and a square, and people say it references a New World Airport Commission. I'm like, all right. First of all, I've never seen a Freemason, art or sculpture or anything of a Freemason or anything of religion within the airport,
Yeah.
But that by itself, that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is that has a really. When people were talking about this and I had to look it up, I was like, there's no way this is at the airport. But it actually is, which is really weird. It's creepy murals and art, right? So there's a gas mask soldier from like World War II or something like that, and he's wielding a sword. He has a sword in his hand, and this is the part. He is surrounded within the art, the mural, on one of the walls in the airport, surrounded by destroyed buildings and crying children.
Okay, how are you gonna have that in the airport? Like,
and it's just in the wall, like it's nothing. Like it's not. You know how like sometimes they try to hide it. No, it's just like
it's out there.
Like it's pretty much out there. Like you're walking to your airport terminal and you're like, what the hell?
Like
now, a lot of people take pictures, obviously, and then that's where like all the conspiracy theories are coming from. But like I've never seen that out of all the airports I've been to. I've never seen. I mean, yeah, art, but not like symbolizing like stuff like that.
Art that talks about like war and like crying children is like.
And it's like those specific art together.
Yeah.
Like what is it symbolizing? You know what I mean? But that's really weird. And then yeah, so like I said, a gas mask soldier with a sword, and then destroy buildings around him with crying children. And then have you ever seen the Lucifer?
Is it the blue horse like this?
Yes, I'm gonna show you some photos like that.
Yeah.
So it's a blue horse, and it has. So this is interesting, right? So it's a blue horse. They call it Lucifer, and it's red eyes, and it's obviously like galloping to the top, right? But the interesting thing is, So in total, it is 32 foot tall, blue obviously with red eyes, and that is the first thing you see when you come into the airport. So everybody who goes into the airport and out to the airport, that's the last thing and first thing you see, right? And while trying to like build the sculpture and also like put it in place, the curator Luis Jimenez, a piece fell and killed him.
Really? So basically, his own art killed him.
His own car killed him. His own art, yeah.
That's crazy.
But that's like your own art killed you, and then I don't know, man.
I heard that like people say that like, oh, because of this, like Lucifer's like cursed because like it killed his creator, like.
Because like apparently like a piece from like the sculpture is severed an artery during construction. So like obviously he's gonna be there to like, hey, this is how I want it to look, you know, and I guess some part of it because this is 32 foot tall, you know what I mean? This is big and it's obviously gonna be heavy, you know. And I guess a part fell on him and he died. I don't know, man. That's really
weird.
sus.
That's kind of like some Final Destination type of stuff. like a chance happens and then like you die.
And okay, maybe like, you know, it does happen, okay, but then the symbolism behind it, like the horse is like a demon horse with red eyes, and then it takes the owner who made it. I'm like, all right, bro. And then so this is where I'm like, all right, this is not a conspiracy theory that is just far off into the space. I mean, it could have some meaning to it and some truth to it. So, you know, the runways where the airplanes land and take it back. So look, right? So they were saying that it looks like from the top, like from a bird's eye view from the top, it looks like a swastika, bro.
Really?
And I was like, there's no way. And look at this. That makes no
crazy
sense. And not only that, they were trying to say, oh, well, it's just a convenience. It's like, when we were building it, we weren't looking from the top. I'm like, what do you mean you weren't looking from the top? So you're telling me you wouldn't look from a bird's eye view of how the airplanes would look down at the airport?
Do you think that's why they wanted a big airport and they wanted to rebuild it so bad to like make the symbol, the swastika?
That doesn't make any sense.
Also that and then like what if it connects to like the art?
Also, yeah, okay. Remember how I told you that so obviously that comes from World War II, right? With Hitler and all that. And then what do we see in one of the things? We see the destroyed buildings,
and then
we see the World War II soldier with the mask with the sword.
Yeah.
And then crying children.
Like, that's kind of.
But like, dude, like you have all right. Once it gets to the runways and it's a symbol like that, and obviously it's really bad like symbolism behind that, you know. Like that's not all right. That's not a like a we just did it by accident. No, you for sure like, hey yo, this is how we have to have it, you know, precise because you know it won't make any sense from the top of the sky. But imagine that you're flying in and you're like, what the hell is that? And it's a swastika. Once it gets to this part, I was like, oh yeah, bro.
No, yeah, it's all pretty weird with everything.
And then it gets even weirder. So throughout the airport, there are strange words.
Words? Just words?
Yeah, so words in like different languages that we know of and we don't know. So for example, some of the words are in Navajo, so like Native American, Braille, and some other unknown languages that appear throughout the airport.
Unknown, like no.
Like we never heard of these languages before. Like maybe it could be like secret codes or like it can mean for something on the inside of like the group or society, but to like regular Joes, it doesn't like what is that? You know?
Like I get like having like words in like different languages because like in airports they have like, you know, like when you like get off the flight and you see like the welcome and it's like in a lot of languages and everything. So I understand that, but like having unknown languages is like, how are you gonna put that when like people don't know what this language is? So it just shows like, what are you trying to say with this? Like, yeah, it just, why would you do that?
Off the back, what do you think? It makes. Do you think it's a bunker for like elites underneath? Because according to what they're saying is that the bottom is like really like high. You have to be like have high clearance, like tunnels and they were asking. I remember they were asking a lot of the construction workers to do it. They're like, yeah, man, this thing has been going on. We went over budget. We don't know what's going on. Da, da, da. But this is the part where I'm gonna tell you something that I was doing my research, right? And once I saw this, I was like, oh yeah. So, in one of the billboards, you know how I have commercials like of billboards and stuff like that?
Yeah.
In one of the billboards So you know how construction, right? They have the hat, the vest, and the boots and the pants. So on one of the billboards where they have a commercial, I'm gonna say what it says. It says, "Apologies for the noise. It takes really big drills to get to know the underworld."
And what do you are, buddy? What do you mean? To get to know the
underworld, and then it's not a human. Guess what it is? A lizard.
Well, I wasn't gonna say a lizard.
It's like they're telling you. All right, it's two things. They're making like they already know people are talking about it.
Yeah.
And they want to get more like publicity, stuff like that. You know, because think about it. Yo, what the hell is this doing in the hallway, bro? You're walking, what the hell? Like lizards, construction workers, and you're saying that? It's either publicity to get like more people will go to the airport, take pictures, because I think they do tours just for that art. I think so.
Just for the airport?
Yeah, I think so. And then so that's one main publicity to get more money and all that, tours and all that. And then but another thing might be like, yo, we're telling you straight up what we're doing here.
That's kind of crazy.
But once I saw that lizard as a construction worker, and then we're trying to drill us to the underworld, I was like, all right, man, this is too much. Right, lizards, bunkers, and stuff like that. I was like, all right.
That's kind of crazy.
But yeah, because a lot of people say like there's lizard people around us and all that. But yeah, imagine walking down and you see a lizard construction worker. What the hell? I'll
probably never fly to that airport ever again.
But yeah, in my opinion, I definitely think it's like something with maybe a bunker or something like that.
Yeah, there's probably something definitely. There's definitely something.
And there's definitely high end military sites in Colorado for sure.
It's all pretty crazy.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Denver conspiracy theory.
Speaking of airports, have you ever heard of a flight going missing?
I think so. Okay,
so in 2014, there's actually a missing flight, which was the Malaysia Airlines flight 370, and this flight was supposed to take off on March 8th, 2014, right? And it was supposed to be from Malaysia to China. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you the whole the data that people have, right? So the flight took off at 12:41 a.m. local time, and it reached an altitude of 10,700 meters, which is 35,000 feet in American. At 1:01 a.m. At 1 a.m. Then right, so it was just a regular airplane going up, right? Then later on, the aircraft communication addressing and reporting system. So I'm guessing it's how they communicate to those towers they have, right?
The towers that have at every single airport.
And it also those towers also record how the aircraft is doing, if it's everything's good or not. This flight sent its last transmission at 1:07 a.m. and then it was switched off.
What the hell?
Switched off. Think about it. And there was no malfunction. It was just randomly switched off. So why was it switched off, right?
Or was it turned off, or was it?
That's what people are saying. Okay, and then later on, the last voice communication from the flight to the tower occurred at 1:19 a.m. And then later on at 1:21, the plane's transporter, which was the aircraft control, the tower, it was switched off again. Switched off.
Bro.
Not it didn't stop working. It was just
literally
switched off.
Switched off.
Then they were okay, people were okay, we can't come in contact with the plane no more. What do we do? What do we do? So they were okay, let's involve the military. Because you know how they have special technology and everything? Yeah. So at 1:30 a.m., they included the Malaysian military and civilian radar, which began tracking the plane. And it turned out, so at this time, it was supposed to go from Malaysia's right here and then Asia's over here, right? It was supposed to go straight, but then all of a sudden it curved back.
Turned back, going back to where it came from.
It did. So and then the Malaysian military saw this, but then all of a sudden at 2:22 a.m. they lost contact with it.
But it was on the way back.
It was on the way back. So that's what they were saying. And then they were saying that it was on the way back, and then all of a sudden they just
lost communication. Lost the signal.
Lost the signal to the plane. So they didn't know where it was going or anything. So it was all pretty weird. So they were what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
Yeah.
And then they were just well, I guess we gotta like search for the plane and see
Because that's
where
when
it
like
goes.
that in that situation, obviously, like when you lost a signal, you don't know if it's in the air
Yeah.
or you don't know if like during the air like they turn off the signal.
Yeah.
Because I know obviously to turn off the signal, it has to be like a pilot or
Mm-hmm.
something that knows what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or someone specialized in that. Or maybe it went in the water and you have to send out the boats to like do the sonar thing on the water and all that.
Yeah, so they were like, okay, we gotta search for the plane and see if like anything, like if any airports reported or anything like that. So they first started. The first thing they thought was like, okay, what if it crashed, right? So they looked like around the Indian Ocean because it was like surrounding the Indian. I'm pretty sure the Indian Ocean surrounds like Malaysia and like the surrounding countries. So they looked through there, and then like they looked around Australia and Asia, and then later on, the UK Air like Accidents Investigation Branch, they conducted on March 24th that the flight crashed in the Indian Ocean.
What the?
So they was like, okay, it was a wreckage. Like it's for sure crashed.
Also,
right?
I think I saw there was a Netflix.
Yeah, there's a Netflix show about it, but like I haven't watched it. Have you watched it?
So I watched it. Essentially, like they crashed, right? And as soon as they like, because it took days, because you don't want to say it crashed and it didn't crash. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And obviously, it got to the point where like they were all grouping all the families, you know, and all the flight attendants and all that, and the pilots, and they grouped them in a big like city hall thing. Yeah, they're like, unfortunately, we don't know what happened, but more than likely,
it was a plane.
By now, because they have time. They had a timer on the fuel. So obviously, when you fill it up, the airplane, you're like, okay, well, we know based on the fuel we put in, this is how much. If it is in flight still, how much we'll have in time left. And once that timer went off, they were like, well, we for sure know, unless it was refueled somewhere else, there's no more gas in the airplane. So it had to come down, land, or crash. Yeah,
because think about it. This plane, like, took off on the 8th, and they didn't include the wreckage until the 24th. So that's like more than 10 days.
That's crazy, man. Like I can't imagine being. What do you think happened? Have you heard about the thing that they're saying that the aliens?
No,
I haven't. Seen the video?
No.
So there's a video. There's a video going out there where like I think it's a military camera, but the thing that's weird, right? This is a weird thing. That the camera, I think military. That the military camera is like following like the movement. It's like the camera is moving with it. Really? And it's the airplane's in the air, and then the sus thing is this: there's little circles. I don't know. You haven't seen this going viral like on TikTok? Like there's little circles going around the airplane. It's like in a thermal imaging.
Yeah.
And then the circles are going around the airplane.
That's weird.
And then I don't know if it like goes in the clouds or something like that, and then boom, gone.
Like you can't see it no more?
I think you can't see it no more, or that's where the video ends. I don't remember. But there was like, they were saying UFOs or whatever. Yeah. Going around, like 3 of them or 4 of them, like circling the airplane.
That's kind of crazy. Because I heard the alien one was like the first, like one of the theories that like why this like plane disappeared. The other one was because of hijacking. Because they thought it was really weird how like the communication systems and everything was switched off.
But think about it, right? If it was hijacking, obviously when you do that, you're gonna have maybe like, hey yo, I want this, and that, or I want something to happen,
yeah,
and then
that's what I was thinking too.
And there will be communication instead of just like complete silence, you know?
Because I was like, if you're gonna be hijacking a plane, you're gonna have a motive, right? Like you're either gonna want money or like something like that, right? But to switch up your communication and just go like take off the plane from there is just like, what is your motive at that point? Because you have nothing to do.
Another thing they were saying is that maybe it was a pilot. So
okay, so wait, maybe I got information about that.
So it was a pilot, and that because obviously the pilot knows everything, right, in the airplane, and so the pilot was going through something or financial trouble, something like that.
So basically, they went inside his like home, right, and they tried to investigate and find something to do, and then in 2016 they found that like I guess pilots have like at-home flight simulators, right?
Obviously to practice and stuff.
Yeah, to practice on over. And they found that like he was flying, like he has practiced flying over the same path that the plane was like went when it disappeared.
I mean, obviously when it's like that, then maybe. But like I was always questioning, right? I was like, okay, so if you're doing this, maybe they won't find out, but if eventually they're gonna find out that they're going back. You know what I mean? And then obviously there's 2 pilots, not just one.
No,
you know what I mean? So what did you do to the second pilot? Like obviously, like yo, what are we doing? Yeah. Because the guy you're talking about, I think he was the main. Because you know how there's a captain and co-pilot. Yeah. That was the main captain, and this is what they were saying is that maybe, like they said, they don't know, it's conspiracy theory, that maybe what happened was that since he knew everything about the plane, he something about the pressure, the air pressure in the cabin, which will go everybody to sleep.
Really?
Which will go make everybody go to sleep, and then when the air comes on, they have their own mask.
Yeah.
Obviously the pilots have the best one because they're the pilots.
Mm-hmm.
They would just put the mask on, everybody would pretty much go to sleep.
That's kind of crazy.
I was like, I don't know about that one.
So with that being said, do you think like their motive was like, if it was like them, the reason why they disappeared, do you think it was like because of like suicide or like mass murder?
The thing is that what doesn't make any sense, well, based on like the Netflix thing, is that they went over there where they were coming from. They went over.
Yeah, they did.
It was like, because you know how like what was the city again? Where they came from, obviously ocean, and then they crossed the land and into another ocean, and that's where they got another pin, another signal. They were like, that was, I think, the military radar one.
Yeah.
And they were like, yo, what's going on? They went halfway, came back, and then crossed us into the other ocean, and that was the last pin. But then that's when they were trying to figure out the satellites. And then all that information it just didn't make any sense. And then they were like, instead of like doing all this, it crashed. But I don't think they ever found out what happened. Where I think some breaking things was like...
Oh, they did find some like some pieces from like the plane. So they found like they have 27 pieces like possibly confirmed that were from the flight, and they have 17 pieces that were likely from the flight.
But is there some that's confirmed?
There's
so
some
it did go
confirmed.
down in the ocean.
Yeah, that's what people, based on these like the debris from the plane, they think like it was probably a wreckage.
So probably like, I don't know, thunderstorm or something went down. But
think about if there was a thunderstorm, like wouldn't they have like weather like warnings? Like wouldn't they know about the weather?
Yeah, because they have obviously forecasted for the weather. Yeah. They'll know like, hey, we're gonna go through a thunderstorm, or we're gonna have a lot of turbulence. Maybe something was wrong with the airplane. I don't know. But that video that I watched, well, if it is aliens? Real, there was like circles around the.
Or think about it, if it was the aliens, do you think like maybe the aliens like messed up the planes like the navigation system? Yeah, the navigation system and the whole thing. And
that's how pilots. Obviously, you're a pilot, so you've been to many flights. You know what I mean? You're not gonna know where to go. So obviously, everything is based on the navigation. But if you said the signal came off, then maybe something like an EMP type thing, or I don't know, like it just shut all the communications off. The navigation,
because it would make sense if like the aliens like messed up the plane system and in general,
and then they were blind up there like, yo,
where
do I go?
What do we do?
Well, all I know is that I'm coming from this way, so maybe if I go this way, the way back. But you're not gonna know where the runway is or the airport,
Yeah, and that's probably like what kind of like led to the wreckage was probably like the plane system like not working no more.
But at the same time, like some of the passengers would have been like, yo, we should have been there by now. It's like this time, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they were all freaking out. Or the pilots, imagine the pilots like, yo, I don't know where I'm at.
Imagine like all the pressure and everything. Like
yeah, it takes a big, especially in the main pilot. Like, yo, you gotta figure it out, or we're gonna go down.
That's like, I don't know, the whole flight, like the disappearance is like pretty crazy.
And let alone like I already hate like flying. I'm scared of heights, so like I hate flying, especially like it's just the part where like, all right, so you're going fast, right, to the runway, you're going up. And then you're pretty much like, nose is up. You're going up, and it starts tilting. I'm like, oh, hell no, man. That's when I be grabbing onto the seat, yellow, like, firm and all that.
But I don't think flying's like that bad.
Well, like, because you're not scared of heights, but I am.
Not really. So I'm like pretty good with it. But yeah, this whole thing happened, and it was pretty bad.
So when I heard this theory, I was hella mad. I'm not gonna lie. I was really mad because I was like, you're telling me I did not know about this my whole entire childhood. Because the movie I'm talking about is the Finding Nemo theory. So you know about the fish, right? So you remember in the Finding Nemo? So at the beginning, like in the opening scene, like a barracuda, a predator fish, is circling around like where marlins mating, like the female, the clownfish. Yeah. And the partner were like, you know how they had their eggs?
Yeah.
Bro. So what they're saying, it makes sense. And I was so mad. I was like, oh, damn, this could be true. So they were like, everyone thinks that the barracuda maybe never ate the mate, like the Marlon's wife or whatever, and that maybe that Marlon's partner ate the eggs, like all the eggs that were in the little like cave thing. and then
Wait,
left.
Marlon's partner ate the eggs?
Yeah, the clownfish. So after doing this, I started doing like, what are you talking about? What do you guys talk about? And I did my research, and they were saying that clownfish are known to eat their eggs if they seem like, bro. I was like, what? That they were known to eat their own like offspring or like eggs if they seem like bad or if they might mess up the whole the whole eggs because you know it can spread a virus and stuff like that. So they were saying that she ate the eggs. That it was doing two things: that she ate the eggs and left because of the barracuda, or that she ate the eggs because the barracuda was gonna eat them or whatever. But then the barracuda doesn't doing. This is based on like biologists, like science and all that. That barracuda don't eat clownfish because the clownfish are hella small.
Yeah.
And obviously the barracudas are really aggressive, but they don't eat clownfish. And so they were saying like maybe she thought the barracuda was gonna eat them as a predator, and she ate the eggs instead of the barracuda, and then she left Marlon.
Really?
And then, but I was like, okay, if she left Marlon, then who the hell is Nemo? There's no way. And then, the more and more I dig up, I was like, they're like, you should look up what the name Nemo means in Latin, right? And I was like, the hell you talking about? And I looked at Nemo, and guess what it means? What? Nemo means no one in Latin.
No one?
Like, doesn't exist. And so I was like doing my research and all that, and then they were like, the theory was like, the reason why Nemo is an imagination from Marlon. So Nemo never existed.
Wait.
Because Marlon was going through it. He was imagining.
So that's like his only way to cope with it.
That was his only way to cope with it, and he was going through it. Like through like all the negative stuff, all the because he was depressed. You know how throughout the movie he goes to like different phases of like depression and like.
And he's always like
anxious, yes, because he's going through the withdrawals from like his eggs. Like what happened, or like abandonment and stuff like that. And I was like, there's no way Nemo is imaginary.
That's like.
What is the movie called?
Finding Nemo. That's kind of crazy. That's crazy.
Finding that theory out, I was like, yo, my whole childhood was a lie. But it makes sense because, like, clownfish eat their eggs. Maybe, I don't know, the female to Marlon left and ate the eggs because that was a threat from, like, the barracuda. Or maybe the barracuda actually ate the clownfish, but before that happened, she ate the eggs,
Yeah.
And that's when the Marlin came. And he didn't find nothing, but he maybe found, like, one because, that was supposed to be the last one.
Yeah.
And maybe he made that up in order to like cope with his damage.
Damn, that's kind of crazy. I would never think that from like.
But think about it, like it kind of makes sense because look, he's coping with that, right? And then what is the other one that we see? The bluefish. Dory. What did she go through? Like she forgets like stuff.
Short-term memory loss.
Short-term memory loss, and then I'm like, oh, now it does make sense. Maybe it's like they're having problems with like. It's like problems, you know what I mean? Like he's going through this, and then she can't remember anything. Like she talks about it, and then she forgets it the next couple minutes.
That's kind of crazy.
And this is throughout the whole movie. He goes to like different stages. I was like, bro, this Finding Nemo theory really messed me up.
There's no Nemo after all, guys.
There's
that's
no Nemo.
Crazy.
Finding Nemo. There's no more Nemo. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the theory.
Have you ever heard of like the Vatican? I think that's how you say it. The Vatican? Like the Roman Catholic Church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So basically the Vatican, if I'm saying that right, is located in Vatican City, which is surrounded by Rome, Italy, and it's basically like the headquarters of like the Roman Catholic Church. So basically the Pope lives there, and I'm guessing like important like bishops go there.
Really important to Catholics and Catholic people.
And then, so basically, the Vatican, like, first became, like, itself in, like, the 4th century. So we're talking about, like, 300 AD.
This is, like, they have
So this is, like, way back.
Us.
So this is, like, the Vatican has been, like, here since, like, so long. And it's said that the Vatican has, like, secret archive files.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
That contain, like, so many information and everything. And these files, like, in order to access them, it's, like, really restricted. Like, you gotta go through, like, so many,
you
like...
You gotta be the Pope or somebody.
Yeah, you gotta be, like, really
or know
important.
Somebody.
Yeah, you gotta know somebody or be very, like be somebody to like access these files. And then, but the thing is that like these files include the history of like the Vatican, of course, and like the Roman Church, but it also includes other aspects that like are
so it can
really
be positive and negative.
Yeah, it can be positive or negative. And it said that like, okay, I'm gonna tell you like some like like they think that like some of these archives have like very interesting things. And okay, I'm gonna tell you the first one. The first one is like alien life. So basically, the Vatican like throughout like the whole Vatican, like when it was made, they really liked astronomy, right? And they even built the Vatican Observatory. So they were like, if the Vatican likes astronomy so much, what makes them think, and them being like made since forever ago, what makes them think they haven't come in contact with like alien life or have like seen alien or like extraterrestrial?
Hell? That makes
like,
a lot
sites.
of sense though, because that would be like that switch up everybody who like believes in, you know.
Yeah. So like they were saying how like they
like,
definitely have to have
no,
something.
they for I mean, in my opinion, they for sure have to have something, because like think about it, they've been doing this for so long. You telling me they're not gonna find discoveries or maybe like know about aliens or something about it, or some mysteries that we don't know of, but they know of, but it's like I said, it's in the safe somewhere in like the archives that nobody can get to.
And basically, like if they did find like extraterrestrial like accounts, if they do have those, then like they didn't want to reveal it to anyone.
Well, yeah, because it will go against, you know.
Private, yeah. The next thing that is also like theory that they have like files of is like exorcisms and like supernatural. Well, honestly, I kind of believe this one because like when you think of exorcism, you think of like I think of like the church, right? You go to church to like relieve this like demonic like presence and everything.
Yeah. Negative energy.
Yeah. So it said that the Vatican has information about exorcisms and how to perform them. So how to do them. And then it's also said that they also have recorded like so many records of like accounts of demonic possession and supernatural encounters.
Oh, hell no.
Which is like kind of understandable because like is like,
because you have to know how to fight it, you know what I mean? And obviously you have records of knowing how to fight it and beating it.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to go down the archive and go, how do I do this? Yeah.
And then have you ever seen the movie The Pope's Exorcist?
I was just about to talk about that. That makes complete sense.
So basically, the Pope's Exorcist talks about he was like a father, like Father Gabriel, I think that was his name.
Yeah, I think so.
And then he was like the head exorcist of like the Vatican Church. So they have their own exorcist like to the church. Like what makes you the Vatican definitely knows.
And then I think to support this, I think in the movie just your average like Vatican people, they didn't really know how to fight it. Yeah. But the main guy of that church or it was a pope or something like that, he really knew him, the main guy for the exorcist, who would go to every single house and like do like the demonic stuff and all that. And kind of find out he got a letter like, hey, yo, this is based on what I'm seeing. The negative energy is saying we've encountered him before, but I have no records of him. And then that's when the Pope came out, or somebody bigger than him came out and said, yeah, here are records from the Vatican that we have done it before. So, and this is the way to do it. And or this is because I guess like to knock out or win against the negative energy, you have to know the name or like the back-end story of whoever the negative person is.
So this is like the two things. The other thing that they think is in the archive files is like suppressed like scientific discoveries, which kind of makes sense at the same time because it's like based on history and everything that happened. It is said that they like suppressed scientific information that challenged like the religion.
Well, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. You know.
So basically, one of the things they like they confiscated or like suppressed was heliocentrism, which is basically like the thing that like the sun is in the center of the solar system, and then the planets
go around in orbit and all that.
Yeah, I think based on this, I think that goes against like the religion, and they did not want any of this to like.
Well, obviously, like they're gonna pick and choose. Like if this supports our cause, then we're gonna share it. But if it doesn't, then just keep it in a dungeon or whatever, you know.
And they also like didn't like Darwin's theory of evolution. which is like a really.
Well, it makes sense.
Which is a really like important like scientific discovery because like
in the science realm.
Yeah, in the science realm. So it said that they have information revolving these two things, but they don't want to reveal it because they don't want.
Because then they go against everything.
Yeah, it's gonna go against everything, and it's also publicly known that like the Vatican did not like Galileo, right?
Yeah.
It's also
he's an astronomer, right, or the architect?
Yeah, he studied like the moons and everything, which is kind of connected to like heliocentrism. So and it's also publicly known that the Vatican does not like him. So it's just like that's kind of weird,
and he was very well known too. I'm back in the day. You know?
So it kind of like supports the thing that like the Vatican like did not like any of this, so they kind of like shut it down.
They will shut down everything or oppose everything that doesn't support them or help them.
And then like, have you ever seen the movie like or the movies of the Da Vinci Code and Angels of
with Tom
Demons?
Hanks.
Tom Hanks is in both of them, and then it is said that like these two movies, they basically talk about the Vatican's like conspiracy theories. So like
I have seen the movie. The movies are actually pretty good.
Yeah, they're good movies, but like I didn't know they're like conspiracy theories about like the Vatican, which is like pretty crazy.
I mean, like if obviously you have to be somebody to go down there or somebody trustworthy. You know what I mean? And then not only that, but like they're not gonna reveal anything. No. Like they don't have to.
Especially because obviously they have so many power and so much influence over people, and they've been here for so long. So you're telling me that you don't have something in your files that includes exorcism, supernatural activities, and like scientific discoveries. Like
or these examples or stories or something that shines light on something else.
It's just like you definitely gotta have something.
For sure they definitely have to have for sure something like in the archives like hidden away like this would never see the day of light. But thinking that imagine that like let's say if your average person or average Joe believes something and then you're one of the guys who's in charge of like this will never get out, but you're like damn. Why is everybody believing this? But I know the truth. Oh, that's a big burden.
Yeah. It's just like, we will never really know what's in those archives.
No, we would never know. Unless you're somebody up there with high class up there. But you never. But once you get up there and like power, you're not going to betray them. You know? You're going to be like, I don't want to say brainwashed or anything, but you're going to be one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going to want to stick into like that circle that you're in and you don't want to like challenge it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically like the Vatican like archive files.
Thank you for watching the podcast.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.